What's going on, my rapscallions? This is Larknok1/AKDB Addict. And what? Pentagon? You played Pentagon last time. Thank you, stereotypical Asian man in my head. I did play Pentagon last time. So, what makes this different? Well, for one, I spawn with a shotgun by accident and decide to wing it. The results are pretty awesome. This is a 30 kills and 4 deaths team deathmatch, and I hope y'all will enjoy it. Anyways, y'all, you guys remember back when I said I wanted to do pop commentaries? Well, this is gonna be my first somewhat attempted one. So I went onto a random noun generator and I got myself a word. So my word ended up being pants. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of laughed when that popped up on the screen because I actually have a pretty funny story involving pants. It's an embarrassing one, but you know, that's more fun to talk about than anything else, really. So my story goes a little bit like this. The story takes place when I was about 8 or 9, so about 8 or 9 years ago. I wasn't living in a big house at the time, so everything was a little bit cramped. It was a pretty small place. There were only, I think, 6 rooms, if you can even call them that. And the way it was set up was that you'd enter my house, and it would be the entertainment room. That's what you would enter into. And I loosely call it that, with a TV on the left and a hallway right in front of you. If you walked about 3 or 4 feet down the hallway, on the right you'd see the kitchen, which was a pretty small area with just enough room for a kitchen table, a refrigerator, a stove, an oven, and some room to walk around. On the left was a slider door to my brother's room, and there was just enough room there for a bed, some drawers for clothes, and a desk, you know, typical middle school whatnot stuff for my brother. Going a couple more feet down the hallway, you'd find a bathroom on the left, and that was basically the kids' bathroom, and 2 rooms that branched diagonally at the end of it, and that was basically the house. Me and my sister's room was on the left, and my parents' room was on the right. It was small. It was basically a small enough house that, I mean, if anybody was yelling, you could pretty easily hear them. So one day my dad had taken my brother, sister, mom, and I to church, and it was about a 2-hour service in another language I didn't understand, and another good 30 minutes afterwards for coffee time before we actually got in the car and started on our way home. So as you can imagine, when I got home from this sort of thing on Sunday, I just want to whip off those uncomfortable church clothes and get to playing on my N64. Because, you know, that's what kids did, like us did at the time. We played the N64, that's what we had. We had Legend of Zelda, and we had Star Fox, and that was it. Oh my god, it's gonna be a wonderful story to tell grandchildren. So, me and my sister actually had a bunk bed, and in front of it there was a TV hooked up to the N64. Now, to the left of the entrance of my room, there's a lamp. So I get home from church, and all I want to do is get these clothes off and get to the N64. So first my belt comes off, and then my black pants, you know, church pants, how weird they are, and I just whip those things behind me on my left shoulder. I'm not even bothering to look. So I would have changed my pants, but naturally the N64 found its way on before my pants did. You guys know that feeling, don't lie. So I was sitting there, playing the N64 in my underwear on the bottom bunk. Keep in mind, I'm only like 8 or something. So, now I was playing Superman 64. I have an excuse. And I don't know if you guys have played that game. Actually, it's one of the worst and hardest games, probably, of all time. People say that's their favorite game just as a joke, just because of how bad it was. So, I would try to fly through the damned rings for hours in that game. Because that's all you do, you fly through rings! And all my childhood, my little child psyche was scared. It was just, that game was, not pretty. And really, that game just scarred me with the sound of Lex Luthor chuckling. It's just a demonic sound. Nobody should have to hear that. If you guys have played the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I go into my room, I'm playing the N64, and I don't even notice when, you probably guessed it by now, my pants land on the lamp and started to basically catch on fire. Now, once they actually caught on fire, my parents you know, my parents, they always call me an absent-minded professor, and you know what, they're probably right. So I was there playing Superman N64 in my underwear while the room was starting to fill up with smoke, and I didn't notice. Wow. Just around that time, my sister comes in the room, and I'm like busy flying through rings to even talk to her. So she notices the smoke, and she goes and tells my mom and dad. So they come in, and they take the pants off the lamp and extinguish them, and I pretty much get made fun of, you know, until the end of time by my parents. For about like 5 or 6 years, they would always cite this one little story right here for why I'm not a responsible person alone, and while my sister is so responsible. Now looking at today, I'd say that I got that pretty backwards. I'm certainly the most responsible kid in the family, but at times I may be more or less incompetent, and there is a difference. Incompetence is like you can't handle some situations. Responsibility is you try to man up to situations, and I will try to man up to most situations. Incompetence has to do with things like I more or less can't cook full meals on my own right now because, I don't know, I'm like 16, 17. Yeah, that's the difference, but I've seen some shit through my ears, and I think I've made it pretty clear to my family that I'm pretty responsible and easy to trust. My parents don't have any trust issues with me, and, you know, looking back this story, it's just funny to me, and you know, every time I tried to use the fact that I was playing Superman 64 as an excuse for not noticing the burning pants, nobody that I mentioned that to has ever tried the game, and for good reason. But I've always wanted to make a video or something to get this cool little story out. You know, the random noun generator just gave it to me in a hat. So that's pretty much my story on pants, guys. Anyways, guys, in case you did not hear in my Ponies and YouTube video, which is the one where I got a spread of 50. First of all, you should totally check that out if you have not seen that, because I get an insane score. It's all on Pentagon also, but it's mostly pure sniping. This game had a lot of SCAR and a lot of shotgun in it, which is considerably different in style. So that's one main difference. And anyways, guys, in case you did not hear, the YouTube message, it's really hard to say it and put it very nicely. Now the issue more or less is that at the end of the day, this is the channel that I'm going to post videos on, and it's going to contain content that I enjoy playing and enjoy making commentaries for, whether or not they're live or if they're planned. The idea is that the commentary and the gameplay I'm supposed to enjoy, at least somewhat, in practice. So, yeah, that's the idea. So I know I have a lot of fans that really do love this game, love Conduit 2, and I understand that this game is really fun, but at the same time, I have a lot of friends in real life. I have a lot of friends on Skype that play Modern Warfare 3, and I feel oftentimes a lot of pressure to play that game, and not even just because, oh, everyone else is doing it, I gotta do it too, but because I want to hang out with them. That's one thing. The second thing is that the game is fun and it's something new, and I've played Conduit for a long time, and I've always wanted to play it. And I realize those videos, if I make Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 videos, they're not going to get as many views off the bat as any Conduit 2 video I put out is going to, and that just has to do with the fact that the subscriber base for the longest time has been Conduit 2. But if I started putting out MW3 videos for a while, eventually they'd get as popular as the Conduit 2 videos and then surpass them. Just because when you factor in the size of each of the communities, it's pretty clear where that really stands. And that's really all I gotta say about that, guys. I really hope you guys understand. At the end of the day, what I hope from you guys is that you subscribe. Not because I guess for my content, not because I'm the only Conduit 2 guy out there. At the end of the day, I'd love it if you guys subscribe because you like the way I talk. Well, not even that, I guess. You just like hearing me talk, or you like the stories I tell you guys. You like the fact that I don't talk for 8 minutes about the gameplay. Like, oh, look at here, here's where I jump, and then look at this is where I got a neat dragoscope. But, you know, that's what I hope for. That's honestly all it boils down to. I'd like to believe that something I say or talk about has any effect and creates a more human environment than does just, you know, playing the video game and uploading the videos without commentary, or making montages and only uploading montages. You know what I'm talking about. I'd like to imagine that the human aspect of me has an effect on these videos, and really it brings them to life. Now, if it doesn't, well, too bad. But that's what I try to do. That's the best part about YouTube. It's also the hardest part about YouTube and the most stressful part about YouTube. But it's really worth it in the end. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, like it up. If you really like it a lot, go ahead and favorite it. Why not? And remember, subscribe for more y'alls. Subscribe for me, because, you know, I'm me. And, that's all I got. Peace!